Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of Miriam Yarimi. First I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. Miriam Elisheva Yarimi was born in September 1992 and lived in Brooklyn, New York. She went by the name Ellie. She made her living running a business as a luxury wig maker. For example, she would make wigs that women would wear to a wedding. In June 2023, Ellie filed a lawsuit against the city of New York, alleging that when she was 14 years old, a police officer falsely detained her. Later, that officer allegedly committed an offense related to sex. Eventually, the lawsuit settled, and Ellie was awarded $2 million from the city. In August 2023, Ellie made a post on social media which celebrated the purchase of a blue 2023 Audi A3 sedan. Later, she put a license plate on this vehicle, which was distinctive. It read WIGM8KER, like Wigmaker. In March 2025, Ellie posted a video on Instagram which showed her climbing into a Porsche 718 Boxster S, which apparently she had purchased. She incorrectly referred to this vehicle as a boxer, like Mike Tyson or Joe Frazier. There is the sense that she did not fully appreciate the significance of the vehicle. The Porsche 718 Boxster S is essentially a convertible version of the 718 Cayman S. With common options, it is priced around $90,000. Despite the acquisition of this new vehicle, Ellie still drove her Audi A3 around Brooklyn. At least, she would for a short time. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. On Saturday, March 29, 2025, at around 1 p.m., Ellie was driving her 2023 Audi A3 north on Ocean Parkway in the Midwood neighborhood of Brooklyn. Her license was suspended at this time. As she approached the intersection with Quentin Road, Ellie slammed her Audi into the back of a 2023 Toyota Camry, which had just turned from westbound Quentin Road onto northbound Ocean Parkway. The Toyota was being operated as an Uber. There was a driver and 4 passengers on board. After slamming into the Toyota, Ellie kept plowing forward and ran into pedestrians who were lawfully walking on the crosswalk. Ellie killed a 35-year-old woman named Natasha Sada, as well as Natasha's 7-year-old daughter Diana and 5-year-old daughter Deborah. Her 4-year-old son Philip was also struck by Ellie. He was taken to a hospital in critical condition. The occupants of the Toyota Camry were taken to a hospital with minor injuries. After the collision, Ellie told first responders that she was possessed and being followed by the CIA. She also said, quote, "had the devil in me," unquote. Ellie was taken to a hospital in stable condition and received a mental health evaluation. The police indicated that the light at the intersection of Ocean Parkway and Quentin Road was red in Ellie's direction when she struck the Toyota Camry and the pedestrians. Ellie was wearing her seatbelt, and she had not been using drugs or alcohol. At the time of the impact, she was traveling 50 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. The police filed many charges against Ellie in connection with the collision. She was charged with 3 counts of second-degree manslaughter, 3 counts of criminally negligent homicide, 4 counts of second-degree assault, reckless driving, aggravated unlicensed operation of a motor vehicle, failure to yield to a red light, and speeding. At the time I'm making this video, Ellie is working her way through the criminal justice system toward her trial. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Ellie appeared to suffer from various mental health symptoms. As I mentioned, after the collision, she made references to possession, the CIA, and the devil. Neighbors described Ellie as friendly, but emotionally unstable. She accused one neighbor of working for the CIA and being a spy. Neighbors said that Ellie was in a battle for custody with her ex-boyfriend over her daughter. Perhaps this was a major stressor for Ellie, which caused her symptoms to worsen. The police had visited Ellie's apartment several times in the week before the collision. She posted on Instagram indicating that she had found a hidden camera behind a vent in her bathroom. This post was much different than many of the other recent posts she had made, like something had changed drastically with her thinking. A similar deviation in posting strategy occurred in October 2024, 5 months before the collision. Ellie posted a video on Instagram of an alleged mental health incident. Multiple police officers showed up at her apartment and found her in bed. Ellie said to the police, quote, "If you guys have a problem with me exposing the truth, you can take it up with God," unquote. One of the officers said, "What's the truth?" Ellie responded, "The truth is, I'm good." At this point, another officer said, "Ma'am, can I get your clothes?" Ellie responded, quote, "I'm not going anywhere. This is my bed. You barged into my home without my knowledge, without a warrant, without even a reason to why you're here, without a validating excuse," unquote. She probably meant without a valid excuse. As it turns out, the police did have one of those. Ellie was removed from the bed and presumably taken for an evaluation. Later, her attorney indicated that she was planning on suing the city for $5 million for offenses including false imprisonment. In a post on the social media platform TikTok on March 11, 2025, Ellie referenced the October 2024 incident, saying, quote, "They thought they could break me, but I'm coming back to buy the whole building. Don't you ever underestimate me," unquote. Item number 2. To say that Ellie was a terrible driver is the understatement of the millennium. According to the How's My Driving New York website, a vehicle bearing Ellie's license plate, Wigmaker, had been issued 99 violations from August 2023, when Ellie bought the Audi, to March 2025, when she destroyed the Audi. 70 of these violations were for parking, and 3 were for being in a bus lane. 21 offenses were school zone speed camera violations, and 5 were for failing to stop at a red light. Ellie had been penalized with over $10,000 in fines. Her last speeding offense was a speed camera violation 6 days before the fatal collision. There's no question that Ellie was aware of these violations. She had paid over $9,000 of her fines, and she sort of confessed on a TikTok video when she stated that she drove around like a chicken without a head when delivering wigs. Item number 3. The fatal collision on Ocean Parkway has led many people to demand that repeat offenders, like Ellie, have speed-limiting devices installed in their vehicles. There is legislation being considered in Albany, the capital of New York, to mandate this installation. Drivers with more than 6 speeding or red light violations would be forced to install intelligent speed assistance devices. Using GPS to determine the vehicle's location and the speed limit, the devices prevent the vehicle from traveling more than 5 miles over the posted speed limit. The state of Virginia already has a law like this in place. In my opinion, this is something that every state should mandate. It's just common sense. The limit can even be lower than 6 traffic violations as far as I'm concerned. I would be fine with installing these devices after a person receives 2 speeding tickets. Why should society have to wait for irresponsible drivers to be restricted? Driving is the most dangerous thing that most people do on a daily basis, and speeding is a major contributor to this high danger level. It's time to put a stop to all this nonsense with repeat traffic offenders. Item number 4. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. It sounds like a few different factors conspired and led to a disaster. Ellie may have had some mental health symptoms which were not being effectively treated. It's possible that she was psychotic. For example, she specifically mentioned the CIA following her. That is a telltale sign of delusional behavior. Believing oneself to be possessed by the devil is another common delusional belief. As Ellie was struggling with potential mental health symptoms, she also had a lot of money burning a hole through her pocket. She was awarded $2 million in that lawsuit. This gave her the ability to buy vehicles and pay traffic fines. For some reason, which would not be related to psychosis or having a lot of money, Ellie developed a sense of entitlement about her driving behavior. She didn't care if she was breaking the law. She continued to speed and commit other violations even after being cited dozens of times. It did not matter how many traffic violations she accrued, nothing was going to stop her. I wonder if Ellie's previous experiences with the NYPD factored into this behavior. Perhaps she said to herself, "I'm not going to obey the law because the police are corrupt and not trustworthy. After what they did to me, I'm just going to do what I want. I am not going to respect the laws those officers enforce. In addition to the buying power of a $2 million award, Ellie may have interpreted her victory as being consistent with having immunity. She was untouchable now because she conquered the police in court. This can also be seen in her plans to file a lawsuit after she was removed from her apartment. She was looking for $5 million. One thing I've noticed about psychosis during my time as a counselor, educator, and supervisor is that it tends to weaponize traits that a person already has. The psychosis becomes dangerous by amplifying a bad behavior that a person already possessed. Here's what I mean by this. If somebody who regularly consumes alcohol becomes psychotic, the instrument of their doom will likely be excessive drinking. They will consume too much alcohol, which will get them in trouble. If a person who is angry and violent starts having hallucinations or delusions, the psychosis might drive them toward striking people. This is how they will end up in jail. With Ellie, if she was experiencing psychosis, maybe it weaponized her terrible driving. Ellie was already a scourge on society due to her horrendous driving behavior. The psychosis only gave her more of a reason to drive dangerously, like she may have believed that she was being pursued. Any restraint that she had, any sense of consequences, any hope to avoid prison, all that was erased by the psychosis. Again, this is just a theory. It's also possible that Ellie is acting and there is nothing going on with her mental health. Either way, I would be very surprised if Ellie can avoid being convicted of manslaughter in this case. Even if a jury was inclined to show compassion based on the mental health symptoms, they will never forgive 26 moving violations and driving on a suspended license. There is reason to believe Ellie knew the difference between right or wrong, regardless of what may have been going on as far as her mental health. Through her driving behavior, she was asking to kill somebody, and eventually she was granted her wish. Those are my thoughts in the case of Miriam Yarimi. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.